Hello, folks. Thank you for joining me once again on an evening run. This is going to be special here. This is going to be unique. I have a special guest. All the way from Bluefin Bandai. His name is Justin Cavender, and he's gonna help us dig a little bit deeper into the announced Ecto-1, the Ghostbusters Ecto-1 by Blitzway. So it's going to be different. It's not going to be your regular midnight run, evening run. This is going to be more of a one-on-one. And hopefully, with our fingers crossed, we're going to squeeze some information that can kind of help us plan for the future. Justin, say hello.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it was a pleasure. Like I said, I in the backstage, I mentioned I've seen you, I've seen David, and you do your one-on-one community live streams on the Bluefin Brands channel, which is on Friday, you mentioned?
Yeah, they're Friday at noon Pacific time.
Yes. And the purpose of that is it's different though, because you're one of the only distributors I know of that actually makes an effort to reach out to the collector community, kind of showing, showcasing and so forth. I know Sideshow on occasion does it, but it seems with Bluefin Brands, you guys are a little bit more religious with that.
Right. Yeah, we have fun with it, and it'll be about stuff that we don't necessarily have product for too, which is kind of fun. So like this week we're gonna do one on the Batman, even though we don't necessarily have toys or collectibles for the Batman. It's just fun to have conversation and engage with the community, and just talk about toys and movies and what have yous, and we try to be as transparent as possible without getting fired. That's kind of like our goal. So when people have questions, we do our best to answer them. As of course, we're definitely honest, but sometimes we say things that is too much.
That's okay. Hey, if something slips, that can help us in the community, in the 1/6 scale community, plan ahead. It's absolutely welcomed. So I live and breathe in the 1/6 scale community. I enjoy the products that are released by Blitzway. I don't know if you can play Where's Waldo, but there's already a few of them in the shot here. I don't know if you can see the Blitzway Terminator endo arm in the lower bottom there. That's
yeah. Okay, I think I see it.
Let me. I don't know if you can see it or not, but here it's right in next to the DeLorean. If you can see the Terminator.
Okay.
That's the Blitzway endo arm there.
That's awesome. Oh yeah, I see it. Okay, on the right, on the corner there of that block.
Yeah.
Okay, next to the clock. Perfect. Yeah, that's great.
So I have a list of questions to ask you. I really do appreciate Bluefin Brands taking the time, hanging out with us. And it's just to correct me, you're under Bluefin Brands /Bandai, or is Bandai the parent company /Bluefin Brands?
Right. So Bluefin was its own thing, but then in January of 2019, it became Bandai Namco Collectibles. But everyone just knew the name Bluefin, so it just kind of stuck. And it's my dog making a cameo. And then, of course, next month, Bandai announced that they're going to have like this whole new restructuring, and then we will just be Bandai Namco.
Oh, so no more Bluefin then eventually.
Yeah, it'll be Bandai Namco Toys and Collectibles America is what it'll be.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
It wasn't just until recently I never put two and two together, but I would go to San Diego Comic-Con every year up until the whole world fell apart. And I would see the Bluefin Brands booth there in San Diego Comic-Con. I would see Blitzway, and I'd see other companies under that banner. But I just never, for some reason, I just never put two and two together. I never just saw Bluefin as the main distributor to Blitzway. So then it'll be Bandai will be the main distributor then. To
right. So Blitzway does have certain categories, like Prime 1 is something like there was that Joker statue, there's that new Peacemaker statue. There are some things that we don't distribute, but for the most part, we get a pretty sizable portion of their catalog.
So who would distribute the Prime 1 Blitzway statue, that Peacemaker? Would it just
I think, yeah, I don't know, because if we're not selling it, then it kind of falls off my radar kind of thing.
I see.
But I wouldn't be surprised if it was other retailers or distributors like Sideshow, or I'm sure Big Bad's probably carrying it.
Prime 1, or being
Yeah.
able to purchase from Prime One Direct.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have one question for you,
Sure.
but it's the one I see already in the comment, and I'm gonna pull this one up here. This is from Collector Chris. Hello, Genobi, and hello, everyone. When will the Ecto be on Sideshow? I actually wrote this one down, but because Collector Chris brought it up, I'll give him a little bit of spotlight on there.
I don't know the answer to that, actually. I wish I could tell you.
Okay. I wasn't sure if there was a logistics reason, a licensing reason, a distribution reason. It's something that we in the 1/6 scale community, we've been kind of aware of because the Ghostbusters Afterlife vehicle, which I'll bring up in the photos here. I'll bring one just to reference. So we are familiar with the retail price and the retail US price, and I'm going to use the Bluefin Brands pre-order price, and I want to say it's $18.99 on your site. I want to say that's what the pre-order price is.
Yeah, that might be right.
I believe so, and that
Okay.
seems to be the ongoing price. Well, us in the community, we kind of we need to track these things just because it's a high-end collectible piece.
Sure.
And just like the first one, we know that once this thing sells out, it enters a chase status of value where it's no longer being offered, so it climbs in price considerably.
Oh yeah, 100%. I like for the 1984 Ecto-1, that certainly happened overnight, right?
It happened very quickly. I've told the story on multiple live streams that when mine was shipped from Sideshow, that same day went into waitlist, and then the following week it was sold out. It was completely gone, and a lot of collectors who are watching right now, they most likely have seen my unboxing video, and it's actually one of the videos in my channel that still gets views, just because Ghostbusters is such a timeless IP. It just, especially with Ghostbusters Afterlife, that video, my unboxing video back in 2020, is still getting those clicks, and I still get the questions and who is selling the 1984 Ecto-1 Denobi, and I'm like, it's gone. That ship has sailed. Is that something that you would know? Do you know if Blitzway would ever re-release the 1984 Ecto-1?
I don't know for sure. I know I like just looking at the Afterlife one. It's kind of a way for people to get an Ecto-1 that missed out on the 84. But a lot of just like imported collectibles, so many times it's just a one and done. Like they'll make it and they'll only make a few or something to that effect. At least that come to the States, and then it's over and done with. And we see that with a lot of other companies too. Like Storm Collectibles. That's another one. Like everyone wants like a Shao Kahn or a Goro, and they sold out after a couple of months, and then if you missed out, then that's it. And then the company might make another one, but it'll be like some sort of variance, like it'll be bloody or a different color or something like that. So this kind of reminded me of that, to where you're still getting an Ecto-1, but it's just a little bit different. And in this case, obviously with Afterlife, they made some hardcore modifications to it with like the gunner seat and the remote trap.
The remote RC ghost trap. Have you seen the prototype? Have you?
I have not. No.
Okay.
So when it comes to the prototypes, the videos that Blitzway makes, in most cases, that's the closest we get to it. The only prototypes I had ever seen ahead of time were like the Hellboy statue. I got to see that pretty early, and then the Inuyasha statue.
Were you guys at New York Comic Con? Were you?
It was at San Diego.
San Diego. Okay.
Yeah. And so that was like the first time that anybody, it was kind of like a world first reveal kind of thing. And that was exciting, but they kind of keep things under lock and key, man. Aside from like the high res photos that they release, Blitzway is pretty good about having like a 30 shot photo gallery of all their stuff, and which is great. And then they'll have like a fun teaser video. But yeah, we don't really get our hands on the prototypes for these types of things. At least with Blitzway.
What's your confidence level on the delivery date on this? This is slated to ship from the US, spring of 2023. I think March is the
Yeah, it said
working.
Q1, I think is
Yeah, Q1.
so March would be the deadline for Q1, I suppose. But honestly, with the global shipping crisis, I mean, I hate to use that as an excuse, but it is real, man. Like there are so many things that are just sitting on boats at the ports that just aren't getting here. And that doesn't mean necessarily just toys. It's everything, anything
Mm.
from like home goods to cars, you name it. Everything is just sitting and on ships and containers, and it's so frustrating. So let's just pretend for a second that the pandemic didn't happen and everything was hunky dory down at the ports. I think that they would be pretty close to that window. I
Okay.
don't. I am not led to believe that they would be late. I know that historically speaking, uh, Blitzway items have had issues in the past, but I don't think it's uncommon. I'm more of the mindset to release it when it's ready, whether it be a video game or a toy. If it's not finished, I don't want it. You know what I mean? So that's kind of my
Yeah.
thought process.
And
Like the
for the audience,
oh, go
yeah,
ahead. Oh, I was gonna say like the 1966 Batman 5-point figure set from Mezco. That was something that I feel like I've wanted my entire life, and I pre-ordered it like in September or October of 2020, and it showed up like a month ago, and that was just one of those things I was waiting for so long, and I'm just like, oh my god, I just want to play with these toys, and I'm just sitting there
it
just
was
thinking
it
about
was
it.
that delayed.
Yeah, so it was just one of those things where uh, I'm glad that I got it, but I wasn't like losing too much sleep over it. But again, if when you have the 84 Ecto-1 and you know how intricate it is and how complicated it is, and you were probably scared putting it together and putting that roof rack on there, and when you opened up the doors and you saw all the crazy detail and it looks like a car your grandmother probably drove with all the cool little buttons and knobs, you probably said, I get it. Now I understand why it took as long as it did,
It
because this
did.
thing is incredible. It's
It is.
there's this feeling of like of like bewilderment where you're like a kid in a candy shop for the very first time, and you're just like, oh my god, look at this engine. They didn't have to do this. So who knows, why am I even going to pop open the hood of this car? I'm not going to, but I know that it's there, and I know that Blitzway took the time and effort to do that, and it looks incredible. It looks like they got the Honey I Shrunk the Kids laser and literally used it on the Ecto-1.
And then just shrunk it. Have
Yeah.
they has Blitzway shared any behind the scenes info other than what's been publicly shared on their own direct website?
No, not to my knowledge, no.
Okay. Ryan Carroll, thank you for the super chat. What are the odds the Sideshow going to carry this? Justin has says he just does not know. He just does not have, unfortunately, does not have an answer as to
Yeah.
the mystery as to why Sideshow does not is not carrying it or has it on pre-order. I bought my Ecto-1 from Sideshow. It was direct, and mine was pre-ordered through them. But yeah, it's just one of those questions that it like, why isn't Sideshow? Are they no longer friends with Blitzway? Are they?
Yeah, I can't speak to that. I don't know if they had any
Yeah.
kind of I don't know
So
what their relationship is, but
yeah,
I can't answer.
but if Sideshow wanted to sell Blitzway products, they would still go through
Yeah,
you guys, though,
they
right?
definitely could. Yeah, 100%.
Or would
I mean,
they?
as far as I know, they could. I don't see what the problem would be, I guess
Okay.
is my answer.
So okay, so if not to paint you into a corner, if you don't know the answer,
Sure.
but if Sideshow wanted to get Blitzway products, would they go through you? Would they go through Blitzway direct?
Um So I think it varies from product to product, to be honest with you, and
Mhm.
just licensing and things of that nature. And I know that it sounds silly to say licensing issues, but there is so much red tape when it comes to licenses, and I honestly don't have a legitimate, honest to goodness answer that would keep you and your viewers satisfied. So
That's
I
okay.
I just don't know the answer. In this particular case, I don't know the answer.
Okay. That's okay. And but if they did want to pre-order the Ecto-1 Afterlife, it is offered direct on your site on the
Yeah, I think
Bluefin.
we have it. I think Big Bad Toy Store has it. We offered it on solicitation. So as a distributor, we have customers, right? And we said, hey, check out this Ecto-1 Ecto Afterlife. This is how much it costs, and have at you.
I actually pre-ordered my Ecto-1 Ghostbusters Afterlife a few days ago. I ended up pre-ordering it through Spec Fiction Shop. I don't know if you're familiar with them or not. Spec Fiction Shop
No.
in
What's their shipping situation?
he's advertising free shipping.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, he's putting up the free shipping. I know with you guys are offering the $10 ship. I did see that.
Yeah.
You guys are offering the $10 ship, but I ended up going with Spec Fiction Shop. My first choice, I'll be honest with you, Justin, was Bluefin, but Spec Fiction Shop beat you guys out simply because they provided payment plans.
Yeah, I know. And that was something that we tried to do once. We had like a module that allowed for like whatever, 4 payments kind of
Mhm.
thing, or 6 payments based on how expensive it was. And it was Blitzway when we became, the North American distributor for them. We tried really hard to have that sort of payment plan in place. And I don't know why it ended up not working out. We had it for a while, but then it just sort of went away. So um, I wish we still had it. Because
Yeah,
it's like, okay, after tax and that whopping $10, it's like, okay, $2,000 later.
yeah,
That's a lot
yeah.
to pay up front for something that is a year out.
A year out, and you guys are even aware that even Blitzway can run into delays. It's no big secret.
Right.
So it's most folks that are watching us right now, like they know that this thing is going to be prized. They know it's going to be unique and special, and it's ultimately it really is all about getting the best deal. But yeah, I know there's a few comic shops in North America. Big Bad Toy Store was probably, I think, the first one that put it up. You guys and a few others I found, but yeah, it's all about the shipping. Who can possibly look the other way on taxes and such.
Right, right. Yeah, that
Yeah,
adds up, man.
yeah. So I am in Las Vegas. I'm not sure if you were. I'm here in Nevada. I'm next door, and I wasn't. Oh, another question here. If I would have purchased the Ecto-1 through Bluefin Brands, would you folks have provided an option for pickup? Not saying that would be needed. I mean, that $10 shipping is still pretty attractive.
Right. I think for high end items like this, that makes sense. It's not something that we have a box that you check on the website that says like will call or anything like that. But it would be cool in cases like this where we could offer something like that, especially if it's someone that's just down the street, or in your
Yeah.
case, it's yes, you're a state over, but it's not the end of the world to drive to Southern California from Las Vegas. And I know that we drive out to Vegas every chance we get.
Oh, you folks love Vegas.
Right, right, right. Yeah. So
You
that's
folks love.
it's a really good idea in theory. I just don't know what would be involved. I mean, there's obviously having people come up to our building. There's just certain safety measures that would need to be taken, and we'd have to have obviously certain a designated pickup window kind of thing. And as of right now, we don't really do that, but it would be cool for something like this. I know, like just the very idea of like shipping this big old crate to like Hawaii or something terrifies me. How much that would
Oh,
cost?
you know,
Not $10.
I will say my Ecto-1, as far as the box goes, it didn't have any exterior major damage. The only thing that I remember that arrived broken on my Ecto-1 was probably the oil can got loose, and I didn't know where it came from because the Ecto-1 is so detailed,
Hmm.
and it was underneath the carriage. But I was able to glue it back up, and it wasn't a big deal.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah, it wasn't a super big deal. I'm gonna throw you another curveball here, Justin,
Sure,
and that's do
I'm
you know
ready.
why the Ecto-1 Afterlife is 10 pounds lighter than the Ecto-1 1984? Did
You
you not
know, I,
know?
I saw I saw the difference in the weight. I was looking at the different spec sheets and everything when it first got announced, and I don't I'm unsure, and I know that like like the gurney was something that was with the original one. They had
Yeah,
to do some sort of redesign where the seat comes out, as well as the car or the remote trap comes down, just like in
yeah,
the movie. So maybe in the gutting out process had something to do with the weight change, or maybe they just I don't think it's materials are different or anything like that, but maybe after they built this one, they thought they could do something different the next time around. I don't know. I honestly, I wish I could tell you, but I am led to believe that it just has to do with sort of the gutting of a few things to accommodate the gunner seat
The
and
gunner
remote
seat.
trap vehicle.
Yeah, that was my theory as well too, because you can see the back of the Ecto 184 that there is a large thickness between that and the underneath the carriage. But yeah, it's we all want to be able to get that ghost trap to eject out, and I think the vehicle is lifted too. I think the Afterlife one,
Mm-hmm.
I just can't. I just don't understand. Like I looked underneath. I wish I had gotten B-roll on underneath the vehicle, but it didn't even dawn on me. But there doesn't seem to be a lot of clearing underneath. Let's see if I can.
Yeah, and this one is the Afterlife is taller too. I noticed on the
That's
dimension.
what I think. Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
It
So
seems like
it
it's
was
lifted
it
higher.
was yeah, the 84 was 450 I'm sorry, 500 millimeters high, and then this one is like 540. So there's a difference somewhere in there of 40 millimeters, which sounds like a lot. So
Yeah. But that was one of the things that I kind of broke down was the weight. I'm like, well, okay, well the gurney's missing, and they gotta gut out the vehicle and a lot of the electrical components, and then the circuitry probably is subtracted. It still makes it a unique vehicle. I mean, it's one of the things I fell in love with in watching the film.
is this yours that I'm looking at right now?
Oh yeah, this is
Yeah.
I took some B-roll before, just to in case we needed to reference anything between this and the Afterlife one.
Right. So I mean, just like I know that a lot of people when they see like a price point like this, someone in the 1/6 scale community probably wouldn't be so like blown away, but I know that just someone that might be new to collecting when they see that price, but then when because yours was what, $13.90 or $1,400? I forget
It
what
was
the
$1,400. It
yeah,
was
okay. So
yeah.
that and when you make that sort of commitment, you're like, okay, this thing better freaking rock and roll when I get it, right?
Mhm.
And then when you see the detail, like the warning labels on some of the hardware that would be on a car, you're just like, okay, I get it. It's like when I don't know if you were a fan of Lord of the Rings, but I remember watching some behind the scenes stuff, and when Theoden was getting his armor put on, there's some horse embossing on the inside of the armor, something that no one that's watching the movie is ever going to see, but the armor smith put that extra detail in it, and he's like, all right, that's pretty badass. I'm a fan of this, and I think that Blitzway kind of has that mentality where anytime they can go the extra mile to just make it a little bit cooler, whether it be that like what we're looking at right now with that police light or the emergency siren, just seeing like that Force 4 XL and that little barcode or the reflector light, whatever that is. I think that's so cool. That blows me
It's
away. Even the
it's
yellow warning labels, that's awesome.
everything about it is just it's incredible. And most folks that are watching it, it's there's a sense of regret where they like, wow, I missed out on this. And this thing, I don't know if you're aware of, but this Ecto 1 here on the secondary market, on average, brand new seal, it's going for about 4K. Not sure if you
Yeah,
knew that or not.
that's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about 4,000. So most experienced veteran collectors that are watching, they know they can't pass this up. A lot of them I've spoken to direct are just on hold, assuming that Sideshow would be carrying it, and they haven't. And I reached out earlier. I mentioned it on another live stream I was on. I'm like, look, I'm going to ask the gentleman. I'm going to ask Bluefin Bandai, and if he has an answer, great. If not, that's fine. But because this is almost a year out in March, one of the other questions, and you mentioned this too, we would like to assume it's going to drop and ship by March, but Blitzway does have that semi track record of tending to
Right.
fall, tending to
Right.
fall behind. And another example was the Terminator Endo arm. It took 2 years as well too.
Yeah, I know. And that's
Yeah,
and I just chalk that up to uh I would call them like perfectionists. I mean,
yeah,
these are high-end collectibles and they're absolutely gorgeous, and
yeah.
Again, I'll take it when it's ready. Is sort of my mindset on that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm going to help answer this question from Doc Smizzle. I think he's addressing it to you, but I think I can answer it. For those who haven't ordered yet and are still looking to place an order, does Bluefin offer double boxing with a $10 flat rate ship? So Doc Smizzle, when the Ecto 184 came in a sturdy, reinforced like cardboard box with Blitzway Ecto-1 labeling with straps. It was shipped to me by FedEx Freight. I think it was very well packed. You can't necessarily double box that. I mean, this is a huge box. This box was so huge. I was lucky enough to hide it in the attic. My Ecto-1 box is in my roof. I was able to cram it through the hole. So it's Doc, I think, and the folks that are listening, I get it. This is an expensive piece. It's $18.99. I can tell you that I thought going into this, when I was trying to get this hooked up with Bluefin, I'm like, Bluefin, I think, is the best deal. There's a few little hiccups with their payment plan until I ran into, and that's fine. I mean, again,
my choke. That hiccup's gonna turn into a choke real quick when you got to drop $2,000.
I'm still lobbying for Bluefin. I'm still lobbying for because Bluefin, you guys are still going to ship the Ecto-1s over to Spec Fiction Shop. They're right now the best offer. I got my affiliated link in the video description. They're trustworthy. They've been in the business for quite a while. They're going to get free shipping. And in some cases, depending on what state you're ordering from, they're going to be able to waive the tax from you. Not in California. If you live in California, Spec Fiction still has to charge you the sales tax. So, but the other alternative is that if you do not want to wait, I'm almost positive that Bluefin is going to get their Ecto-1s first, and then you guys are the ones that send it out to all the comic book shops. So that was my first choice, Justin. That really was my first choice. I'm like, I'm going to get it through Bluefin so I can get my fingers on the Ecto-1 first.
I appreciate that. And, this is one of those items that we're going to want to get it the heck out of the warehouse as quickly as possible too, because it is ginormous. As someone that has received one, and that it is like a mummy that's going to a museum. It's like a crate. It's pretty gnarly. They definitely do their best to protect it because the box work itself for the Ecto-1 is a work of art. Like, it has some really cool imagery on the box, and it's something that you're going to want to keep. And so, as someone that collects toys myself, I was blown away when I saw the packaging for the Ecto-1.
Yeah. And folks, he means the artwork, not the actual brown shipper box, even though the brown shipper box actually has the Blitzway branding on it and the Ecto-1 branding, which Blitzway has always done with their brown shippers. They've done it with their astronaut statue pieces. Oh, are those coming from you guys? Are you guys going to ship out the astronaut Apollo?
Yeah. We'll get those.
You guys, that's coming through. Okay. I pre-ordered the Apollo 11, the astronaut landing on the that's a beautiful. I got that on pre-order. I want to say I got that through Hobby Galaxy, and so forth. Apologies if you hear the dog barking in the background.
Oh, that's fine. I got one too.
You got one too. You got a puppy. I saw the puppy in the background saying what's going on. Yeah. Maz, Big Bad Toy Store claims they will double box. I don't know if Big Bad. I like Big Bad Toy Store. There's nothing wrong with them. I just don't know how you would double box this freight shipper box. Look at my video. I should have put. Look, I'll post the original unboxing video to the Blitzway Ecto-1. It comes in a freight box. I'm not kidding.
Huge.
It does.
Like almost like a furniture box.
Yeah.
It's pretty big.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the shipper box is well protected too. And then even when you finally get to the beautiful box and you open that up, there's Velcro straps and all kinds of styrofoam. I'm surprised that you had a little broken piece. That kind of makes me sad a little bit.
So I'll confess to you, Justin, every Blitzway product I've purchased, something has arrived semi-broken or missing.
Oh man, that's terrible. That's rotten luck, man. I'm sorry to hear that.
So I pre-ordered the Terminator endo arm that was forever delayed. I think it was over 2 years. I think it was one of Blitzway's longest deliveries. And it arrived at my home in December. And I was busting my ass. I worked from home and I was working, and I came in a large box and I pushed it to the corner. I'm like, I'll get to it when I get to it. And it wasn't until a fellow collector in the community mentioned that his endo arm arrived broken. And this is in February. And I'm like, oh shit. I haven't unboxed my endo arm yet. I think I should. Because
Yeah.
he kind of like, yeah, Blitzway, and it's like I know Blitzway. They the thing with Blitzway and is that they tend to over engineer things to a certain point. And when I unboxed, I did a kind of like a live unboxing, but it was more of an edited version on my channel. And I was lucky; my endo arm worked beautifully, but the battery case was missing to the remote control. So I ordered it through Sideshow, and I'm like the customer, like, oh please, I should have reached out and unboxed it back in December, but I was busy. Forgive me, Sideshow, because I knew that the endo arm was already sold out. It's those high end pieces from Blitzway. They run in. I've just, on my experience, they make them and then they're gone, and I'm like, I was not going to return it. Like if this endo arm arrived broken, I'm not, because I know Sideshow would take it back from me and give me back my money, and I would not get
Right, but you
a
wouldn't have your
return.
item. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, I'm not giving this up. I know how Blitzway works. They'll make something and they'll never go back to it again. So
Yeah, I'm always curious. When I think about like HasLab, right, where they have these backed projects, and they make 30,000, whatever your sail barge ended up being, right? It's like, how many extras? I see your beautiful sail barge in the background there. Like, how many extras did they make to account for broken parts? Is it 5% extra? Did they make 10% extra? And I've always wondered that. And sometimes it's one of those things where I would rather, like you, I would just keep a broken thing instead of just getting my money back,
Yeah. Did you back the HasLab for the Razor Crest?
Not for the no, I didn't. I was going to, but then I was like,
Justin, you told me you were a fellow toy collector in the community. Come on, man.
I know.
Come on.
I just got a brand new kid. He's came out. I got him in December, and now all of my space is going to him. So I didn't.
We're gonna have to talk about those arcades. We're gonna have to move those out of the way.
No. I need those.
We're gonna have to. You're in California, aren't you? I'm gonna have to pay a visit. I'm gonna have to go in there. We're gonna have to create some space.
Knock down a few walls, raise the roof a little bit. Yeah. No,
I don't know if you can see it, but I do.
I can. It's beautiful.
I do have the Razor Crest on there.
Yeah. I say that, I need the space, but if they ever if HasLab ever did like that, the USS Flag for G.I. Joe, I would be all over that. No. I don't care how much. I'm like, fine, take it. Swipe.
You gotta, come on now. You gotta know better. What, just because I know you're in the toy industry, and you know the value of HasLab. I'm pretty confident. I think you do. Why didn't you pre-order the HasLab? Was it because at the time was it the family situation? Or if it's family situation,
No. It was just because I've collected Star Wars stuff my entire life, and then I finally just hit a moment where when I moved, right? I moved from Seattle. I pretty much lived in California my entire life, and then I spent 10 years in Seattle. And then when I came back to California, I wanted to get rid of a lot of stuff, and I just unloaded all of my Star Wars, and I made that huge commitment to no longer have it. And so I didn't want to get back into it. And like, I can imagine having this Razor Crest be like an ultimate gateway drug to just going all crazy and bonkers, especially since like the amount of content that Disney Plus is going to be giving us. And you just know that with that is just a giant commercial for all the amazing toys that they're going to make. So I just didn't want to go back down that rabbit hole. It was really cool. One of my bestest friends in the whole wide world, he got one. So I'll just live vicariously through his and play.
It is. I purged. I went through a major purge in Star Wars back in 2012. Got rid of a lot of like the 3 3 3/4 inch scale action figures and so forth. But every now and then you'll see like the sail barge behind me and the Razor Crest, and I like to chase after the grails because
Right.
I
I can appreciate that. I think that's
yeah,
great.
yeah.
And I totally get that. And Voltron was one of my favorite collectibles when I was a kid. I had the die-cast one, and I had it all the way through college. And then I graduate college. I come home to my parents' house. There's my Voltron. I pick it up and I freaking drop it on its head, and I break the Black Lion's like little red ear off and his mouth off, and
Oh,
I was devastated, man. And then I got the Tamashii Nations SOC Voltron, and it's really great. I love it. It reminds me of mine when I was a kid. But then when Blitzway announced that Super Mega Voltron thing that they're doing, you better believe I ordered it like immediately. I was like, this is my penance, my own punishment for breaking my own Voltron, and I can't wait to get my hands on it. And thank you, Doc Smizzle, for the congrats.
I think I saw it too. I think as I that Blitzway Voltron, I think the one you're referring to.
Yeah, it's like $700.
Yeah, I sense Grail potential in that. Hold on, where is it? That's not what I was looking for. I was looking for the Voltron. I think it's under.
If you go to Brands, go to Brands, go to Blitzway, and then like see all or something like that.
Yeah, because I was snooping on your site. Yeah, would it be under?
Go to see all in the middle of your screen there. Oh, scroll down, or you can click on that banner. Probably that'll take you there.
Right here.
Yeah. Just click on below it. Click on the Voltron itself.
Right here. Oh my! I'm blind. Did not see. There you go. And it's die-cast early. Yeah, I see. I saw this. Yeah, I have get it back over here. Where did it? Oh, hold on. It didn't. Oh, I see. It opened up a second page. That's what it did. Okay. Open. Why wouldn't it do it?
I don't know.
Oh, it's opening up a second window, and I'm only sharing.
If you scroll down a little bit, you can see like a see all. It's right above pre-order, or you can click right there. Click that Voltron right there.
Okay.
Should take you.
You know what it is? It's the site keeps opening up a separate window.
A new window? Oh.
Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that.
Buzzkill. But yeah, it looks
that's
really
okay.
cool.
Because you know what? I think I'll just click on that window. So there you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is I have bad memories of Voltron.
Yeah.
I'm an 80s kid.
Sure, me too.
And it is the I don't know if I'm allowed to bring Voltron into my life right now. This is one of Voltron in the 80s was huge. I had friends. See, this is why my room looks the way it does, because I had friends at the time that can afford Voltron in the 80s. And it's one of those situations like, I wish I had Voltron in the 80s. I remember that. I remember playing with my friends and their Voltrons. I remember playing with their He-Mans, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm allowed to go down that path of Voltron. Voltron goodness.
I can appreciate that. And then if you look at the images, there's one where they're all lions and they're charging, like they're jumping through the air, and it has like their little color associated with it on the stand, and it looks so freaking cool.
Let's see here.
And it looks like Richard Simpson, he's asking where can I pre-order it. We have it on our site. Big Bad Toy Store has it on theirs as well, with like payment plan options. Yeah, there's one where it's not
that one there.
Well, yeah, that one's sort of photoshopped and everything. But if you look just further down the cycle of images, there is one where you can see them actually jumping on there, and it looks pretty cool.
Oh.
So it just kind of gives off that cool effect. So I was like, all right, I guess I'll go ahead and buy it.
Look at this.
Yeah.
And it is die-cast, just like the original Japanese. Look at
it has a lot of moving parts too. You mentioned like I think you said over-engineering or something to that effect.
Oh yeah, Blitzway loves to over-engineer things. They're like, can we do this? They keep adding. And there's one thing I've learned, like just with the recent Terminator unboxing, like I felt like I was discovering things. Like, why did they do this? Why did they go that extra step? Why did so forth? And they're just known for that. Yeah, it's just something about them. And as far as Blitzway goes, I think they're the only real licensed competition against Hot Toys. I don't know if you're. I think you're familiar with Hot Toys, aren't you?
Oh yeah,
No.
100%.
Yeah.
My buddy Felix, he just gobbles up everything that's Star Wars and Hot Toys related.
Bob Dylan, Justin is very good. Justin is here to promote the. He is, but Bob, you know me. You know I have bigger fish to fry right now, and tackling that Ghostbusters Afterlife. So the whole plan was, Justin, is that I thought I had discovered the best place to pre-order the Ghostbusters Afterlife because everybody kept hitting me up like, where because it wasn't on Sideshow. Everybody on a piece like this and this type of price point, you want to go to a trusted source. You want to go to Sideshow, and it was just really odd and mysterious as to why it was absent from Sideshow, but yet other like local comic book shops and other venues could carry it. It was just very odd, and a lot of them are on pause. So I can tell you folks listening now that Justin Cavender. Oh my God, I'm saying your last name.
Justin Cavender, like lavender, but with
like
the
lavender.
C.
Justin from there you go. He is, yes. This is the main distribution company. They're the ones who are going to get the Ghostbusters Afterlife Ecto-1s first, and then they're the ones that divvy it up to everybody else in the States. My first choice, folks, was to go through them, but the best deal. Look, you folks listen to me and say, I want to help everybody out. You want to protect, you want to curate your collection. You want to get the good stuff here. It's going to be Spec Fiction shop based out of Orange County. They're the ones that right next to Bluefin is probably going to get you the better deal because they're offering free shipping, and depending on the state, they may be able to waive tax. I know certain states they can from California, but not. But again, to Justin's credit, to Justin's credit, I don't think you care where we buy it as long as we buy it. It helps you.
Well, I just want you to be happy. I mean, while we were talking about it, I literally reached out to the Blitzway brand manager asking why isn't this Ecto-1 on Sideshow, and I'm hoping to get an answer for you before this stream ends. But I did do that. I literally said, why doesn't Sideshow have the Ecto-1? Question mark.
Yeah, and that's one of the things too with my live streams too, Justin, is that they get reference. I can go back a few months, and if I'm covering on a specific topic, I've done one-on-ones with the DeLorean. I've done like panel sessions because next year, and I'm going to bring you up to speed. Next year is what I'm calling the trifecta. There's going to be 3 large 1/6 scale vehicles coming into the market, right? 3 of them, 1/6 scale, all high end. We got the DeLorean from Hot Toys, 1/6 scale. The Back to the Future DeLorean with the wheels fold in and out. We have the Ecto-1 Afterlife that's going to hit the market. Everybody's terrified of this because they know that if they miss this, they're screwed. They just are. They know the ramifications. Like if you don't lock this in between now and next year, regardless, because I think most of us that are listening to us right now, they know that Blitzway will be delayed. It's just a given. It's just a history, and there's nothing wrong with that. We know the history with Blitzway. They're going to be delayed. What they're listening, what they're on here for, is to help them make a better decision as to how to buy it, how to plan for it, when to have an idea of when this meteorite is going to come and strike them. Because they know they can't miss this.
Sure.
They know that they've listened to me. I've been on streams. I've talked about it. I've shared my personal experience. When I got my Ecto-1 from Sideshow, within a week, it disappeared from existence. The following year, it was breaking $3,000 to $4,000 secondary price. You can go on eBay now and you can verify this. It's on there.
Oh yeah, no, believe me, I keep up with that stuff.
Yeah,
I'm always curious.
Yeah, brand new and still sealed. So they're on here because they are grasping to every word you say to see if something will slip from your lips that will help them.
I'm a talker, man. I'm a talker. I don't have my drink handy. If you had me all hooked up on something, I probably would.
Look at the comments. I'm not making this up. $2,000. Yes, Doc, absolutely. The Ecto-1 will be coming home. The question is how, when, and how, because there is a trifecta. There's the DeLorean, the Ecto-1. Now, Hot Toys and another competitive company have announced the Robert Pattinson, the Batmobile, in 1/6 scale. In 1/6
Thing's a
scale.
monster, man. That thing is incredible. And what's interesting too is you mentioned this $2,000 meteorite coming right for us, and when you know that overnight this thing immediately becomes worth something more. I look behind you, I see you open everything that you have, and I love that. I can't stand seeing something in a box. It breaks my heart. And so now, is it people that are going to buy this Ecto-1? Are your viewers going to buy the Ecto-1 and keep it a mystery in a box, or are they going to open it up?
No, that's not how it works in my world, Justin.
Yeah, you got to tear that sucker open, right? And play with it, drive it. I saw you turning the little steering wheel. You playing with that thing?
Yeah, no, we pull it out, we display it, we put it on a pedestal. Most of us in the 1/6 scale community, it's all about pride. Call it flexing, maybe.
Sure.
It's about showmanship. It's about curating your collection. And
I see your pedestal right there with the Ecto. You mentioned it.
Well, that's my unboxing table there. That's where I have it. I have it there because I was doing some B-roll footage just in case, as I wasn't sure if I would need to have a. But
do you have little bricks behind the wheels so it doesn't roll off?
Oh no, Justin, this thing is a ton. It weighs a ton.
Yeah.
If there's, I joke about this, and I've kind of complained about it, that it's one of the 1/6 scale vehicles. I can't sit on the floor and play with it like a Hot Wheels because it's so heavy. It won't.
It is.
It has trouble rolling. But no, I trust it. It's not going to roll off. Its permanent home is right behind me on top of the sail barge. Do you see the Ghostbusters there?
Yeah, I do.
That's the permanent home of the Ecto-1. I pulled it out so that I can capture some B-roll. But yeah, no, the Ecto-1, when I do my streams or anything, it's always behind me. Folks,
what is that really tall thing on the same column as the sail barge, and then it's Ghostbusters? What's on the very top shelf that's almost hitting your ceiling? What is that thing?
That is an Ewok village.
Oh my god, I almost guessed that. I should have just said, is that an Ewok village?
That was donated to me. That was donated to me by my neighbor. My neighbor, he buys storage units, and he ran into some old vintage Star Wars, and my kids told me, hey, so and so has a box of old Star Wars vintage, and I'm like, really?
Yeah, I'll take it.
So I ran over and I was able to. I'm like, oh, this is broken. You're not going to need this, right? Come on, put it over here. You know?
That's funny. Yeah, that playset, it's got some mileage on it, man. Like they've reused that a couple times for different things. Yeah. And but I knew that's what it was, and I almost guessed, but I didn't want to be an idiot. Tell you
there's Easter eggs in the backgrounds, and in fact, you're not actually even getting the full picture of the room right now. So let me move the camera here, and if you go right here, you'll see just
oh my goodness, more.
Yeah. In fact, I can even go a little bit deeper, and I'll show you my Disney display. There's even a Disney display.
Oh my god, look at that Ed 209. Oh my gosh.
So that's quite a So it's just a fraction. There you go.
My goodness.
Yeah, it. I do like playing with toys.
I see
my curse. That unfortunately is my lot in life, right?
Sure.
So oh, get the camera. I think it was stationed like that. There you go. So, Maz's Toy Box, a good buddy of mine. Do we have any idea on the batch size of the Ecto-1? Do you feel comfortable speculating?
I don't. No.
Okay. That's
I wish I could.
Folks listening in, I told Justin if he doesn't feel comfortable on where he's touched on the doll, he's allowed to say no. We're not going to go there. So.
Yeah,
you're not. He's not allowed to. So I'm gonna push as hard as I possibly can without getting him in trouble.
Right. Yeah, I really like my job, so I don't want to lose it.
No.
I genuinely don't know the answer to that. So
okay,
and I don't want to guess.
See, look, you think I'm kidding, Justin? Look at the comments. Hey, get him a drink, Denobi. Let's see.
Right. Yeah.
Let's see what spells out.
Next time I'm in Vegas and I'm at the tables. Yeah.
Our Castro with the Ecto-1 not rolling off the table. Emergency brakes on. I don't need to put the emergency brakes on the Ecto-1 because it's just not.
It is heavy. It weighs a
It is
ton.
heavy.
I was able to take we had a couple in the office and I went to repack one and I bent down to pick it up and I was like, wait a minute. I was like, hey Dave, come grab
That was
this
one of my
other end of
questions
this.
too. That was one of my questions too. If you've actually had seen one of the 84s and you actually were able to play with
I
it.
did. I played with it. I played with it for like an hour and I gotta tell you, man, I was pretty intimidated. And because I didn't have instructions for it, and I'm sitting there staring at it, and then I'm looking at some part because like the roof rack and the wiring that's involved and everything, and I'm just like, oh, okay, hold on, let me get better. I kept turning on lights, I kept readjusting myself, and I was definitely scared to touch it. I'm not gonna lie, I was genuinely concerned I was going to break it in some way. And I know once I got more comfortable with it, then it was fine, but just knowing that I had this thing in my hands, I was a nervous wreck. I'm not gonna lie.
Do you have one, or at one point did you own
I
one?
don't know. No. We just had one in the studio.
Does your boss David have one?
He does not. No.
He does not. Okay.
No. We were playing with the same one.
Okay. I was talking to the Bluefin rep, and it's like, oh, David is a big Ghostbusters fan. I'm like, well, maybe he has. I don't know. Maybe
Yeah. No.
Pack or
we're both pretty hardcore Ghostbusters fans. In fact, did you by chance, we mentioned HasLab earlier? Did you get the proton pack and the wand? Did you go crazy with?
So I'll answer
just out of curiosity.
I'll answer that only and I'll throw this exact same question to you. So if you've learned anything from me so far, I chase grails, and if there's one thing that HasLab has produced is grails. Would you agree with that, or?
Yeah. Point? Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So I backed multiple units of the proton pack. Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Can I ask you what your thoughts are on a big company like Hasbro doing crowdfunded projects like that? Obviously you're backing them, but in the back of your mind, are you like, so why am I backing it?
So I'll answer the question, and so that the audience doesn't and I can see why the audience would see me as, or they would label my comment as a shill. But you need to understand, though, is that I am a Hasbro shareholder. I've been with them I've been investing with Hasbro since 2002. It was one of the first companies I started dabbling with stocks. So Hasbro had their best financial year, like the most money they've ever made. It was in 2020, based off their reports. They made a killing. So I know in the community, and you probably get this because I know the products that you mentioned, Mesco one. So you dance with that crowd. I'm very familiar with that crowd, that Mesco crowd. I know they can be a little bit aggressive. So
as someone that runs the social media for Bluefin, yes.
Yeah. So
aggressive is a good word for that.
Yeah, I'm quite versed in how that specific crowd dances. So I think it's brilliant. In fact, I not only think it's brilliant, I wish other companies would follow suit. I wish Blitzway would follow suit, like create a campaign for the HasLab, and then that there's a limited number. Look, as collectors, as high-end collectors that enjoy buying these pieces, there's nothing more than we love than a limited run. That just gets us excited. We like limited runs.
I like it.
Yeah. I think it's brilliant, and I would love to see other companies follow suit. What do you think? Oh, first of all, did you back the proton pack?
I did not back. I've become somehow, I don't know when this happened, but I feel like I had a conversation with myself. Like a future Justin came down and spoke to me and said, "You don't need it. Take your picture with one, and that'll be good enough."
I'm gonna have to confiscate your toy collector license card from you now. Because
I know. It's just when you see all the things that I have, and I'm just like, oh, I don't even need this anymore.
You work for a cool, kick-ass company.
And I
And
do, and behind my chair, you'll actually see there's a pile of stuff. I don't know if you can see, but there's a pile of things right there,
okay.
and it's all stuff that I haven't gotten to yet, and it's all mine. I love it, and I bought it, and I'm very excited about it. But it's just one of those things where I'm like, just older Justin. Just had a conversation with myself, and no, I didn't get it.
You know that if you know that even if you had buyer's remorse, you know that it probably would have sold double the amount the minute it dropped.
I know, but I don't sell my toys. I give them away. I would rather them go to a good home of someone that I know will appreciate it, whether it be a child or it be a friend. But I
Okay.
never sell my toys. I literally will give them away because I know that somebody wants
So
them.
you denied that one child's gift because you did not. I'm just joking.
Yeah. I'm happy to give away my toys.
Yeah.
I need the space. But like as far as I have backed, I did the Hero Quest game that HasLab did. That was a game that I had when I was a kid. Played it in junior high with my best buds, and I was so excited to play with my niece. So I backed that. I'm actually painting all the miniatures right now. I'm in the process of doing that. Super nerdy, but I'm loving every second of it.
It was the most successful HasLab campaign to date. It was the
I
one
believe it.
Yeah. In fact, a lot of people don't know this. I think you do, but majority of the money that Hasbro made was from board games in 2020.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it
incredible because
wasn't.
especially with the pandemic. I mean, what are you gonna do, right? And
Yeah.
it's funny how that works. But and I see this question popped up here, and I'll answer in a second. I just don't want to lose train of my thought here. But the HasLab, and I'm personally I'm a super big fan of it. I think it's a great idea, and I know that a lot of people throw shade at them, like why can't this big company just make all these things? But they're also the same people that are complaining when something's a Target exclusive and it sells out in 5 seconds and they can't get it. If this is something that you want, all you got to do is add it to your little cart and sign out, and you're done, and you'll get it in a year, and that's easy peasy. It couldn't be any more simple, and we don't have to worry about retail space. Retailers don't have to worry about having this big old dumb box in their warehouse. They don't have to worry about only one's going to be on a shelf or it's going to be stolen. They don't got to worry about people coming and going. It's going to be, it would have been an online item only, and people would have been so upset when they couldn't get it because they're going to blame bots or what have you. The internet's on fire and scalpers. And now with the HasLab model, the scalper doesn't necessarily exist at first because every single human being had a chance to buy it. So I am okay with it. If you chose not to pull the trigger like me, and I decided that I wanted to get a proton pack later on, then shame on me. I got to pay whatever person's selling for it, and I'm okay with that. I'm a big boy. I can accept that. So that's just my train of thought.
I'm going to give you back your collector license back now. So you
I appreciate yourself. I appreciate that. And then the question here, do you guys think that we'll get Voltron before July? So I know that there was originally going to be 2 waves, and those that pre-ordered like in the first 30 days, it was a pretty big popular item, and there was going to be a thing where they just need to make more, right? And so people were very excited about it. And of course, because it's Voltron, everyone got one except for you. You're the only human being that didn't pre-order one. And so there was a thing where if you ordered it by X date, then you were going to get it, at the beginning of the new year. But of course, with the shipping problems being what they are, and then it's just going to delay things a little bit. So there was that whole increment where you were able to get yours before the second batch, which was scheduled to be the summer of 2022. Now, I don't know. I can't speak to right now if that first batch is on the water or if it's on its way, but there was going to be 2 batches where people were going to get them before others.
Just a little info though. P-Rock here is my bud, and he loves Godzilla, and I know he follows you folks on Instagram and on Facebook, and he's been doing unboxing videos. I know. I think your boss David just showcased Ghidorah. I'm going to butcher the name. Ghidorah, the 3-headed
Ghidorah. Yeah.
So, sorry, I like Godzilla. Forgive me for butchering.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Names.
You keep calling David my boss. He was best man at my wedding.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's cool. And you in Seattle though? Was he with?
No. So we have come. Our paths have crossed several times in this life. And we just end up working together, and it's great. And a beautiful friendship has blossomed over these many decades now. And so, no, Dave's great. And sorry he couldn't be here.
So folks that have just jumped in though, Justin and David, they do a one-on-one live stream on the Bluefin Brands YouTube channel, and it's Fridays at 1 p.m. Justin?
It's at noon
At
o'clock.
noon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
every Friday.
And then sometimes you'll showcase products, and I know you guys were talking about Demon Slayer on the last stream.
Yeah, last week. Yeah, because the second season just ended, so we were just kind of recapping it and talking about it. But yeah, we do live unboxings too, and we have fun with those. We usually do them for the SH Monster Arts that your buddy is into, and Ghidorah. Yeah, that special color version. He should be here shortly. We got the sample. Usually the samples arrive like a month ahead of time, and so. But given the shipping crisis, it might be 6 weeks instead of 4. But he's coming. So anyone that pre-ordered that Ghidorah, get ready because he's coming.
That's cool. Any chance of the rumors of a new Ghostbusters Figures 1/6? Has anything slipped from the hierarchs over at Blitzway? Has anything? Did you find like a little post-it note on the bathroom door or something, or anything?
No.
Any tidbit morsel that you can?
No. And what's funny is those are also pretty gnarly that you have those in the background. I would love to see like to go with this Afterlife to have the older versions of them. I think that would be pretty cool.
Really, in 1/6 scale, you would like the older.
I mean, I think just to pair it with the vehicle, so you just didn't have the car. Yeah, I think that'd be great.
Yeah, I would look. I would at least want Phoebe the.
Oh yeah, wasn't she great in that movie? Oh my gosh, she crushed it. She was like my favorite.
Yeah,
that Finn Wolfhard guy needs a haircut. His hair was driving me crazy the whole movie. Oh man, I laughed and I cried. I love that movie so much. I was gobbling up Afterlife. I thought it was delightful. And when it ended, I literally was just wiping tears from my face. It was insane.
Did you get goosebumps when Phoebe turned on the proton pack for the very
first time? When you hear the noise? I mean, because here's the thing, like, when I think of like just sound effects, one of the first things that comes to my mind is always like Star Wars, the pa-choo from the lasers and the lightsaber sounds. But with Ghostbusters, the same thing applies. When they turn on the proton pack, whether it's them in the elevator and Egon just kind of scooting away, like, I'm getting away from this guy. He's going to blow up any second. It's just one of those things that literally sends chills down your spine. It's freaking awesome, man.
Yeah, I got to see it at New York Comic Con. When they had the whole cast there, I got to see it before its release. And then I still took the family. I thought the film was fun. I thought it was really cool. It made Ghostbusters fun again. And I think that is what makes the Ghostbusters Afterlife vehicle a little bit more unique, because they made the Ecto-1 fun. They made it a supporting character, versus in Ghostbusters 1 and 2, it was more always as a background vehicle. Like the Ecto-1 helped propel the story.
Right. It sort of kept the memory of them alive, basically. It took on that mantle, right? And it was so cool. And just looking at the photos that you were sharing earlier of the Afterlife Ecto-1, I love how weathered it is. I love how rusted it is and just beat up. This thing has been through the ringer. And it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And there's something about, that era car where it was so much steel, right? It's like a 59 Cadillac, I think, right?
It's I know it's a Caddy. I wanted, and it's in the 50s. I don't remember the actual year.
Well, I hope that steel. It's freaking awesome.
What's that?
I just love like that era car. I love how it's like it's a steel car. It's a tank basically, and I feel like it just resonates. Like I can just see how beefy. I can feel how beefy this car is just by looking at a picture. It's fantastic.
It's gonna be awesome. Sexual people unaware of HasLab is not a common knowledge sort of thing. Justin's on the same boat as I am with HasLab, folks. It's look, you're given an opportunity. Everybody gets to buy it at the same time. Then when it gets released, everybody gets bent out of shape when the secondary market blows up.
Right. And it's usually like a 2-month type thing too, right? It's like
about
45 days.
45
yeah. So
days on average.
That's plenty of time to you don't have to. I mean, at least in my opinion, it's plenty of time to log onto a website and say, yes, I'm going to do it. And there's countdowns and everyone's freaking out on social media like, oh, you only got 2 more hours, or oh, you got 30 more minutes. Go do it, so
it's the did you follow the Star Wars HasLab, the one with the Rancor?
The Rancor? Yeah, I did. And what's funny about that is I feel like my opinion is on the matter is that the main carrot isn't the bonus items. It's the big piece itself. And if I'm willing to pay, let's just pretend what was the Rancor? It was like 350 or something like
It was
that.
350.
Okay, so 350. So I look at the Rancor and I say, I, Justin Cavender, am happy to pay $350 for this figure, and that be the end of it. And then whatever comes up with the stretch goals is just a bonus. So I don't even work for Hasbro, but I feel like I have to defend their their model, because I know that people were upset with some of the stretch goals or not enough, or I don't like the way this looks. But it's not about the stretch goal item. It's about the main piece, and it was about the Rancor. And so that's where, and I get that it's just a brown thing. I mean, it is what you have one in your office there, and it's not the prettiest creature, but if you want it, then that's good enough. The 350 for the Rancor should be the end of discussion. It shouldn't be about it's worth 350 because of the stretch goals. I don't think that's the case, at least in my humble opinion.
I had no problem with it. I know everybody complained about the pricing and so forth. I saw the value in the future. I saw that if this thing were to get funded, it would be a sought out piece, just because it is a Black Series Rancor, and most likely Hasbro will never ever go back to ever making it again. So once it's made, it's going to be some. I was really shocked it did not get funded.
Yeah.
I remember mentioning it on several earlier live streams. I look before the Book of Boba Fett, like, this thing is going to be shown in this show. If you guys don't think it's not going to be shown in there to be sold, it's bonkers. But
right.
Yeah, are you? I did have a theory about the price, and I'm not sure. Maybe you may have a little bit of knowledge similar to what I have. Did you think the pricing was just around that price one because of the tooling? I always assumed it was the tooling because of the mold, because to avoid the limited amount of seams on the actual manufacturing, the actual moldings had to be bigger. And I know that once tooling gets to a certain size, it starts to double and triple in price and so forth.
Yeah, I obviously don't know, but I think you're onto something. And it's so much material, and to me it makes sense. I mean, pricing is so crazy when it comes to toys and collectibles, and it's so hard not to offend another human being when they see a price, and it's okay if you don't get something. I always think that it's interesting when a figure gets announced, and let's say it's $380 and it's worth every penny to the company that put that price on there or whatever, but you're just gonna have somebody that's just gonna scoff at it and say, "There's no way I'm buying that for $300," and that's okay. It's okay not to own everything. Yeah. When I go to Sideshow's booth, right? We were talking about this before the show. If I go to San Diego Comic-Con and I see this gorgeous 24-inch Hordak statue, my favorite villain of all time, Hordak, I'm gonna look at this thing and I'm gonna say, "Wow, that is a pretty freaking cool Hordak. I love it." And I would like to have it, but you know what? I don't need it, and I'm okay with that. Maybe I'm just a jerk, but I just feel that it's okay not to have everything.
You just brought up an interesting question, because you're in charge of marketing, right?
Yes. Well, yes.
Okay. So is Bluefin going? Well, do we even know if there's going to be a San Diego Comic-Con this year?
Yeah, it's on track to be for 2022.
Are you guys going to attend?
Oh yeah, we'll be there.
You'll be there?
If San Diego Comic-Con happens, we will be there. Yeah.
Okay. I know the virtual schlocky thing they had last year, most of the bigger toy companies just avoided it. I attended. I had to attend the special. It was in November.
Special edition? Yeah, we were there.
Yeah. Were you there?
Yeah, we had the biggest booth there, man. We dominated. We had like the Gundam, what do you call it? The G base. We had the Gundam base. We had the Pac-Man booth. We had the Tamashii booth, that Demon Slayer booth.
Oh,
we had the Blitzway booth. We literally had the largest footprint in. It was like 4 ginormous booths. It was insane.
That's right. I do remember Demon Slayer because I did cover it. Yeah, I was there for one day. I try not to miss the San Diego Comic-Cons. I had to because I'm kind of grandfathered in with the press badge, and I didn't want to lose it.
Oh, so, sure. Yeah, I can appreciate that. I used to go to Comic-Con as press as well. I did all kinds of fun videos, and it was great. I had a blast. So now it's interesting being on the industry side of things. Before I was always doing interviews and podcasts and what have yous, and then it turned into now I'm building the booths and working the booths and marketing the booths. So it's great to see that flip side.
There's a good chance we'll see the Blitzway's not going to miss an opportunity to bring the prototype Afterlife to San Diego then.
That would be really great if they did, yeah.
Yeah. I would I'm not sure you're able to answer it, but
it's still a ways though, because San Diego is in July, right?
And then we're in March.
Yeah, no, I know, but I mean, if this is scheduled for a Q1 of 2023, it's possible there'll be a prototype there. But
why not though? They did it for the first one. I covered the first one a year.
Anything's possible. I just can't say it'll be there.
I'm gonna think happy thoughts. That way,
okay, I can appreciate that.
When I travel to San Diego, I'll go over to the booth and I can't imagine Blitzway missing out on the opportunity.
Yeah.
With all the coverage, because this is supposed to be the return of San Diego Comic-Con. Knock on wood, as long as the world behaves, right?
Yeah, that's the kicker, right? And then I see in the comments, what about New York Comic Con? We would go to that too. So
you weren't in the last.
No, the last one, no. The last one we had a representation there, but there was no retail sales going on. It was just, here's some things that Bandai offers. But assuming everything is back on track and San Diego happened, like WonderCon is just in a couple of weeks. So WonderCon's in Anaheim, and that's the same company, Comic-Con International.
Yep.
That is going to be April 1st through the 3rd. We're definitely attending that. We're going to have an awesome show. And then there's Anime Expo in 4th of July weekend. Then there's San Diego Comic-Con in mid-July. And then, of course, there would be New York Comic-Con traditionally is in October. So,
well, I'll be there. I have never missed a San Diego Comic-Con since I've been attending them since 2006, and the only time I ever missed it was because of the 2020 situation and the world falling apart. But I want everybody to get back. I want Hasbro to be there. I want you guys to be there. I want Sideshow to be there. It's especially with all the big drops. There's a quick question I wanted to ask you. Have you seen the Batman?
I have.
Okay,
I did.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Did you like it? It's pretty good.
I did. A lot of rain.
Yeah.
Even for someone that lived in Seattle, the rain was almost comical that there was so much of it. And Batman walks a lot in that movie.
He sure does, doesn't he?
I was like, wow, another shot of the boots. But it's killer boots, man. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was good.
It was good, yeah. And for those jumping in, you are aware that the Hot Toys is teasing a 1/6 scale of the Batmobile. Have you seen that, Justin?
Yeah.
Possible? Okay. That's why
it looks cool, man.
Yeah. That's why it's the whole Afterlife Ecto-1, and like we're getting bombarded with 1/6 scale vehicles, and we've just in the collector community we have never, I don't think I've ever seen anything like this before. This is aggressive. This is some aggressive tactic. It's like companies are throwing their heavy hitters and like, look, we want your money.
Right. I normally, when I was a kid anyway, I was a sucker for vehicles, man. Like, G.I. Joe had some really cool ones. Masters of the Universe had really cool ones. And even play sets. Like, I had so many kick-ass play sets, like the Mask Boulder Hill play set. I had that. Snake Mountain, Castle Grayskull, even She-Ra's Castle, for crying out loud. I loved play sets. I thought they were so badass. And I just miss that. I really wish that play sets would just be a thing again. But that's me. But I mean, I play with itty bitty action figures.
So
you got all the big guys.
If they ever do the Death Star HasLab, you're gonna have to.
Oh yeah, that one. One I might have to do.
You're gonna have to buckle. Albert, Denobi, do you collect for resale? My collection is heavily curated and managed. When it comes to 1/6 scale vehicles, when it comes to exclusive grails, they tend to stick around. On occasion, I do invest in HasLabs or Kickstarters. I should be more specific. I invest in Kickstarters because I'll buy, in some cases, multiples, and that's what helps fund my collection. I will sell it, and the proceeds will help keep that's how I'm able to swing, as an example, a $2,000 Ghostbusters Afterlife vehicle. Yeah, you have to make certain side investments. As far as hot toys, no, I don't. I don't resell hot toys, and I don't certain pieces like the DeLorean you see in the background, or the Blitzway Terminator Endo arm. I like the shiny youth. I like the shiny exclusivity of those pieces. But with the Proton Pack, which I went on a campaign lobbying for, I told everybody, you better buy the Proton Pack, because when this thing drops, it's going to blow up dramatically on the secondary market.
And you got to get the one. You got to get the one too.
One. Yeah, that's how that, if you're buying the burger, you gotta pay for the fries and
Yep.
and the drink.
Yep, and upsize it for a quarter more. Yep.
Oh boy. Older SH Figuarts. You guys distribute SH Figuarts. That's part of the Monsters and the okay.
Yep, that's a Bandai brand. So that's Bandai Spirits. Tamashii Nations does the SH Figuarts. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're a Bandai company. So, we have these we're distributors for other companies too. It's Bandai is Bandai Spirits. So you have like a Hobby, which is like the Gundam, the Gunpla. Then you have Tamashii Nations, which also does like Proplica as well. And then you have Bandai Shokugan. Then there's like Bandai America, which they do the stuff more geared for kids. And then of course we have our other products that we produce, that we distribute for like Storm Collectibles, Blitzway, the Studio Ghibli brands like Ensky and things like that. And then Nanoblock. That's one of our newest ones. Nanoblock, those little tiny micro building blocks, which we had an awesome display at San Diego Special Edition, and we'll have another one at WonderCon. So the Nanoblocks are freaking awesome. They're one of my favorite things ever.
I'm jealous. I can't attend WonderCon. WonderCon is coming up pretty soon too, isn't it?
Yeah, April 1st to the 3rd. Yeah.
Yeah. I gotta save my vacation time. I gotta save it for the prized show. Any extra time I have, it has to be for San Diego.
Yeah.
Everybody puts out their best stuff here.
I'll have to give you a booth tour when you come to San Diego.
Man, I'm thinking positive. I'm hoping that the the Afterlife Ecto-1. I mean, Blitzway has to break. Come on, they have to. They're based out of South Korea, correct? That's right. Yeah. They I covered the 1984 Ecto-1 before it went into pre-order in San Diego, and I think it went into pre-order 6 months later. So it was showcased in July, and then I think it went into pre-order December 2017, I think is what it was. So it was that year, July, and then 5 months later, like, hey, we're gonna do this. And I always tell folks, it's like, how come wasn't popular? It wasn't that it wasn't popular, it's that it was went into pre-order on the tail end of Ghostbusters 2016. You remember that film?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do. I actually laugh. I think it's funny. I know a lot of people in the Ghostbusters community have their feelings about it. Mm-hmm. Mine is a positive experience.
Yeah. I'll no comment on Ghostbusters. Okay. But I can understand though. I can understand how that would have potentially affected the pre-sales to the 1984 when Ghostbusters was at that point in time not in vogue. So, but I think it's a little bit different now, and I think it's attracted new collectors. And if anything, there's definitely a panic among the 1/6 scale collectors, just because we're getting hit with some price
big drops.
Trends.
Yeah. And Ghostbusters, I have a little Egon here. It's kind of cute. We had the resurgence of like the 80s vintage toys come back with Ghostbusters. We've seen a lot of new like Ghostbusters action figures, the Ecto-1 toy car and stuff. So there was a lot of fun stuff for people to just go down memory lane that didn't want to spend $2,000, but they were able to just go to their Targets or their Wally Worlds and buy their awesome figures and call it a day. And I think that's great. I had all those old Ghostbusters figures where they had the little twirlies for the proton packs and shooting the lasers. I had all the monsters, the ghosts rather, and it was great seeing all that stuff in stores again. I was like, man, if 6-year-old Justin could be here right now, this would be pretty amazing.
It's a resurgence. It's one of those properties that just ages gracefully as long as there's interest being revved up. And I think that the brand new movie did its job. It really added that big interest.
So as far as this question goes for Albert, so the figure arts for Star Wars, we don't distribute those. They aren't distributed here in the United States. So they are in Japan. They're kind of like a Japan only thing in our sense, to where companies that do sell the Star Wars figure arts, they get them from overseas. They don't get them through us. And so, because that's something that we don't carry, it's not something I can speak to. There is, of course, those Star Wars Visions figures that were from the animated series that was on Disney Plus. I think those were like a Target exclusive. Those were announced on social media a while ago. But that's it for right now. But it's not something that I can speak to because we don't carry it.
I didn't even know they made figures on the Star Wars Visions animated.
Yeah, just the two, the brother and sister that are fighting in space, going all crazy town banana pants.
Yeah. Maybe that's probably the same question too, the same answer to this one too, isn't it?
No, well, this one was just a licensing issue. Yeah, just no longer have the license.
Okay. Who's doing that? Well,
NECA is going crazy. NECA's yeah, they do all kinds of Ninja Turtle stuff.
Yeah, they're every type of variant. Yeah, was overproduced. Yeah, so who could be local? Lou, we were not sure. I never got into Ninja Turtles, even in the 80s as a kid. I never
really
hit that bug. It never did me. I enjoyed the cartoon though, the long running animated show, but as far as like this resurgence and the exclusivity with the figures and NECA, how it's been, I thank God I'm not into any.
It's hard to keep up with, man. I mean, especially once like retail exclusives can definitely be tricky, especially when a website crashes. We see that, Big Bad sees that, Target sees that. Everyone's just trying to buy the same thing, and there's something to be said about that too. If like event exclusives, right? That's something that you had to go to a show to be able to buy the event exclusive. And let's say that it's San Diego Comic-Con. There's 130,000 people there. There's a couple thousand people that go through your booth. There are 6 registers at your booth. You can only check out so many people a day, right? It's just math and science. That's all there is to it. We're only going to be able to help X amount of people, and that'd be the end of it. But when you have these virtual events and event exclusives become online items, now you just opened up your line and your registers to the entire country, and everyone's able to shop at once. And that I am having a hard time trying to figure out any website that would be able to handle that kind of traffic, and it's just infuriating for any collector. And it's the same like when PlayStation 5s go on sale, or when Xbox Series X went on sale. Everyone's on Amazon and Target and Walmart. Everyone's clicking checkout, and then it's sold out, or the website's broken, or whatever the case may be. So it's always frustrating from that point of view. So speaking of events, I can't wait to get back to just having event exclusives at events. I want everyone to have their opportunity, but it's just there's just the web traffic alone is just so infuriating.
That's one of my incentives. One of the things I look forward to attending San Diego Comic-Con is like, let me stand in line. If you're doing a ticket system, that's fine, but I'm in person. I'm here, and I want to go home back with exclusives. I'm with you on that. The whole virtual con thing and having these events online and then opening up the web store, it's not the same, and I typically tend to avoid them. It's just something I never bit the bullet on. Yeah,
it sucks when there's that one figure that you're waiting for. It just happens to be an event exclusive, so then everyone wants it, and people go crazy over that. The fervor is real, man, and it's unfortunate that it cannot accommodate everyone. I see this question here. Hypothetically speaking, when do you think pre-orders for the Ecto-1 will sell out? That is not something that I am allowed to answer. I would probably wager to say.
Okay, fair enough. How is it fair to assume that at one point on Bluefin's website you would just stop taking pre-orders on?
Yes. Okay, so that is a thing. There are deadlines for solicitations, just so everyone can get their ducks in a row. There has to be a cutoff point. That cutoff point isn't information I can share, but that it's something that exists just for the sake of crunching the numbers and figuring out what can be done. You know, it's not uncommon for something to sell out and then make a second batch for something, not necessarily for Blitzway, but other companies. It's like, wow, that took off more than we were expecting, so now we got to make more, we need more time, things like that. And then that's when you find like first wave comes out this time, second wave will come out at this time, or whatever the case may be. But there are deadlines to make sure that they can get all the materials in order, the costs in order, the shipping in order, and things like that. They have to set an expectation for production. So such a thing does exist.
That's actually probably one of the best. And the fact that you didn't have to give us a date, but the fact that throttle will happen should be enough for collectors listening in. Like, if you're going to move forward on this pre-order Ecto-1, regardless of where you pre-order from, you probably do it. So that the closing of the pre-order then would also apply to, like, the one store that I pre-ordered my Ecto-1. I pre-ordered it through Spec Fiction. So at one point they'll just stop taking pre-orders. Would it be up to I don't know if you can share this, but would it be his decision, or would the decision come from Bluefin, from you guys, to him?
Well, so it's all negotiated kind of in the back end kind of thing. Like, we will have an open solicitation for an item, right? And we'll say that this thing is available now to pre-order. Get your orders in by this deadline, which it can be anywhere from a couple of days to a month and a half. It's different for every company.
Okay.
And then once that order closes, if it's like a bigger retailer, something like Entertainment Earth or Big Bad Toy Store, they might just, take a gamble and say, you know what, we're going to sell, I don't know, 5,000 of these things. Not the Ecto-1, but just this random item. This little guy right here. We'll take 5,000 of those. So even though the pre-order window closed through us, the distributor, some company like Big Bad Toy Store, they might sell 3,000 of their 5,000 pre-orders and then have the remainder in stock for people to purchase.
So they have the ability to submit a purchase order outside
Correct.
of the pre-order window.
Right. So, well, they'll inside the pre-order window, they'll do their own forecasting, right? So they'll say, this is a really hot item, I think we can sell a lot of these things. So it's one of those things where you don't want to miss the opportunity to sell more, right? So maybe you initially think, well, we'll take 200 of these things, right? And then in the first week of the solicitation, let's just say that they sold 180 of those, and they're like, well, shit, maybe we better get more of these. So then they'll buy more before the pre-order window closes through us, and then they might have stock left over, or they might sell out of those too. So it's not uncommon, like for a place like, because I shop on Big Bad Toy Store, right? So I'll see that pre-orders have sold out, but then once the pre-orders have all been mailed out, and then there's cancellations and things like that, then more will pop back up in stock. It just depends on the item. And then there's some stuff where the company might just say, like we'll just call Justin Credible's collection, right? And let's just say that I only want to make 10,000 of these things, and if once I get to 10,000, I just pull the plug, and that be the end of it. 10,000 is the magic number. That can happen too. You never know. And then they might decide, like, I might say that I want everyone to have a piece of this thing, and I'm not going to allow Amazon to buy all 10,000. I want multiple retailers to be able to carry this item. You can do that too. It's all up to the company that's making the toy, to be honest with you.
It's up to Blitzway. They're the
So I mean, I don't know what I don't know what the number is, and B, I can't share a pre-order deadline per se. But if a magic number exists, then and it hits it, then it's up to them if they decide that maybe we can make a couple more. Who knows? I don't have an answer for you, but it makes business sense to make more if people want more. But I understand the idea of having it be a limited number, and that number being relatively low. just for the sake of collectors. Like if you buy something that says limited edition, that's great. But then you look at the sticker and it's number 80,000 of 150,000, you're going to be a little less excited about it, right? You're going to be like, well, that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But so it all just depends.
Yeah.
But
completely understand it. And this is not like a $30 or $40 action figure. This is a extremely large vehicle, so it probably make a little bit better sense that limited. It's interesting though, because the first Ecto-1 that I'd gotten from Sideshow, that pre-order window was open all the way until it shipped, and then it went into wait list, and then after a week it was sold out.
Right,
So,
and that can happen, right? Because maybe they ordered, let's just say 500 of them, and
that's
they
what
had.
I'm thinking.
Yeah, and then they had 450, and then people saw people started getting theirs, and they're like, "Holy shit, this is literally the coolest thing ever! You have to get one. If it's available, buy it." And then everyone bought them up. That could totally happen.
That's what what you just provided actually makes sense, and that's why they probably ordered a little bit more of a comfort, like a little bit more of a fluff in their purchase order, and that's why their pre-order window was still open all the way up until delivery, which. Again, when mine was shipped from Sideshow that same day, it went into wait list. It was wait list, and then that week it was gone. It was completely
it's intense, man. And I think that they definitely got to toe a line, right? Because they want to have it be a limited number to be special, but then they also don't want to upset people because they didn't get one. So it's kind of an interesting dynamic to where you're just like, what is the magic number?
I will say I remember the history back then, and from what you were able to share, it does make sense, because I remember Alter Ego Comics sold the Ecto-1, and they were sold out pretty fast. Big Bad Toy Store at the time sold out pretty. They were about 6 months, and then after 6 months, they finally put up their sold out window. But when the Ecto-1s started to ship from Sideshow, they were at that point in time. I remember they were already sold out. Sideshow was the last hope for collectors if they had wanted a chance at the Ecto-1. Yeah, I
haven't gotten an answer yet, by the way. I keep checking my phone.
That's okay.
I'll have to get back to you on that.
That's if you do, I'm gonna hit the 1 hour and 30 mark, and I'm not gonna. I was trying to, man. I was like, man, maybe he'll get the scoop on why Sideshow, but that's okay though. I do live streams all the time, and if you are able to provide the answer, and if I ever do like a midnight run or something on another stream, I can definitely share it with that audience at that point, just for follow up. Because I think that's one of the biggest questions. I think you did a really good job answering about the pre-order window. There is a close date on that. You don't have to tell us, but there is definitely one does exist.
I mean, they have to be honest with you. It's just one of those things where they got to cut the cord at some point so that they can get hustling on making the stuff.
Yeah, Justin, it was a pleasure to have you on this evening run.
Thank you.
And talk about. Hopefully, I didn't corner you too hard, and you don't get in trouble with some of
that. Email me tomorrow and see if it says if you get a response that's an automatic reply like this mailbox doesn't exist.
Just in case is no longer with Bluefin. No.
Yeah. Oh, real quick. I'm sorry. I see this question about the Storm Collectibles. Doing any other lines. At this moment, nothing has been announced. I do not know of any other lines doing the 1/6 scale. We did get to be the first ones to announce the 1/6 scale for Scorpion, and Sub-Zero Scorpion is coming in hot. Look out for that pre-order to happen really soon. I know that Storm Collectibles, their Hong Kong store is actually opened up pre-orders, but the ones here in the US shipped by us will be opening soon. So get ready.
All right. I'm going to end it here, but I don't think you can answer this question, but this is very different here. You don't know how many of the Ecto-1 84 units were made, do you?
I don't. I saw that pop up, and I wish I knew the answer. I would love to tell you the answer.
I wasn't sure. I didn't think that was something Blitzway would have shared anyway. I wasn't sure, but it was worth a shot.
It would have been cool, like just somewhere on the car that there was a number on it for everyone that said what number it was. Wouldn't that be badass? Like you open up the hood, and then right there it says it, or something like that. I think that'd be badass.
It would have been awesome. Yeah, folks, this was awesome. This was fun. Hopefully I was able to pry enough to help us make a decision moving forward with the Ghostbusters Afterlife Ecto-1. I got mine already pre-ordered. Link is in the description. I decided to pre-order with a Spec Fiction Shop. My affiliate link is in the video. I did enough research. I thought it was going to be Bluefin Brands. I thought, man, this is going to be the best one since they're going to get the Ecto-1. But again, wherever you decide to get your Afterlife Ecto-1, don't wait too long. There is a ticking clock on that.
Yeah,
He's
I
not
know.
budging. I don't want him to get in trouble, but I think he's told us enough.
Yeah, we'll see. I hope I have a job tomorrow. We'll see how that goes.
No.
Yeah.
Anything before I sign out, Justin? Anything you'd like to say?
Yeah, just real quick, a reminder that we do live streams every Friday at noon on our Bluefin video channel on YouTube. If you follow us is at Bluefin Brands across all social media platforms, there's links to the live streams. They're a lot of fun. And this week we actually are going to be talking about the Batman, and we'll dive into that and talk about how exciting it was for us and how we all had to go to the bathroom by the end of it. It was no joke. But it's been a blast. Thank you for having me. I love talking toys. I can do it all day long. I want to come in your little house there and play with all your stuff, especially your RoboCop stuff. My goodness.
That was fun. Thank you so much. Good night, folks.